Here's your smart fact of the day. So, what is the 5 a.m. club? It's a concept popularized by Robin Sharma, where you get up at 5 a.m. in the morning and complete a set of 20 by 20 by 20, which is 20 minutes in intense exercise, 20 minutes reflecting on your goals, and 20 minutes learning a new skill. Does the 5 a.m. concept really work? Can we put on a spin which will suit us more? This is what I'm going to explore in this first episode in the new year, and I call it the Reset Hour. Let's go. Now, here's the context for this one. I call it the Reset Hour, and I've been trying to practice it even before the new year, but I've done it in fits and starts. So what I'm going to try and do is be a little more consistent in the way in which I do this in the coming year. So I'm stating it as something that I'm going to end up doing, or at least I'm making a public announcement. But I call it the Reset Hour. And what I've been doing is a particular kind of routine that makes me probably a better human being, a better professional, and somebody who enjoys the day much more than what I have been doing if I have not been doing the Reset Hour. So without further ado, let me tell you what I do. What I do is I get up at a particular time without an alarm when my body allows me to wake up as rested as possible. If I have not had a particularly good night's rest, then I do something called Yoga Nidra, which allows me to be rested before I do anything else. Then I start my day with something called the Wim Hof method. The Wim Hof method is an intense breathing exercise that allows me to kind of get completely adrenalized, because that's what actually happens physically when you do the Wim Hof method of breathing, followed up by 2 to 3 minutes of meditation, not more than that. And then I do a set of 10 to 12 Surya Namaskars, rather 12 Surya Namaskars, I would say. I started with maybe a 10er and then moved to 12, but I don't go beyond that. Once I finish the Surya Namaskars, I actually fire up my phone. I haven't hopefully looked at my phone till then. I fire up my phone and I start Duolingo, and I start kind of doing my lesson in French for 5 minutes. And then I look at the news, I look at what I have to do in the day, and maybe go for a cup of coffee. Now, this takes me to my reset hour. It is something that is quite close to the 5 a.m. club, but there are some subtle differences which I think can make this routine much more flexible and much more accessible to all of us. I have been noticing a lot of very positive things for myself because of what I call this reset hour. And the thinking behind this is such. The first aspect of the thinking is that everything should happen in your own room, wherever you are. And since I'm the traveling professor, I keep traveling from one place to the other. And the fact is that you need to have as few excuses as possible. So you don't need a pair of shoes. You don't need anything, right? You just need to get up in your own bed, wherever you may be, and you might be traveling. And you need to probably just pare it down to such a minimalistic level that you can actually do the reset hour wherever you are, which is why I chose Surya Namaskars. And the reason why I do it is because it is the complete exercise, and it does a lot of things for you. And I'm looking at it from a functional benefit perspective rather than anything else. So I'm not trying to get any muscle gain or whatever it is. And if you're into that, wonderful. I'm just talking of resetting yourself. So the room is irrelevant, which room you're in, but it only requires that particular room. The second thing is it requires nothing else. The third thing is it does require you to have is a reasonable sleep. But if you don't sleep well, again, there's a plan B, which is Yoga Nidra, which allows you to be rested before you get up. So, I'm not very anal about getting up at, say, 5 a.m., but get up early enough to have this hour for yourself, whatever your day may be. So don't sleep in if you're restless in any case. I wouldn't advise setting up an alarm and stuff like that. But if you require an alarm, no problem. Try and get in those 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Make sure that, you get up, do the Yoga Nidra if required, and follow it up. The thinking behind doing the Wim Hof first is adrenalizing, so essentially motivating yourself from a body perspective rather than a mind perspective, because your mind is always going to tell you to go back to sleep. Your body is different. So that's why Wim Hof first, that's the sequence. The second is Surya Namaskars, because trust me, I hate doing any kind of formal exercise, but I'm looking at this exercise as medicine, and perhaps I will talk about the benefits of Surya Namaskar one point in time when I'm bored of doing digital marketing and businessy stuff with you. The third thing, as soon as I'm finished with the workout, I do Duolingo. Now, there are thoughts to this. You can actually do your learning before you work out, and apparently that allows you to learn better. So you could try switching it up, see what works for you. For me, doing Surya Namaskar and then setting down to, doing Duolingo for learning French and then learning a few things which I can share on the podcast or for my classes or consulting also work. But there's a routine and there's a pattern, and it's all stacked up, as you see. And we've talked of stacking up of habits at some point in time, and I'm sure that you'll have a variety of sources wherein you can actually understand stacking up of habits, like atomic habits and the rest of it. So I'm not getting too much into that. What I am getting into is that the routine is followed because of a couple of reasons. One is that it takes into account my weaknesses rather than something that I'm going to become Superman tomorrow. I'm going to look at plan Bs, right? What if I'm tired? What if I'm bored? What if I'm demotivated? What if I'm, the idea is to accept those weaknesses and to reduce all kinds of barriers for it. And the reset hour is with a specific purpose. It is for you to live the rest of your day to the best of your ability, which not only means productivity, but also enjoying life. So that's how I am looking at it, rather than, going for a marathon or something like that. If that is your goal, excellent, do so. But that is not a reset hour. A reset hour is for the Aam Janta. People who are not regular in doing a lot of things but have lives to lead. And is there something that they can do to up their productivity and up their quotient of happiness? And trust me, once I have done the reset hour, what I am feeling is certainly a kind of focus in whatever I'm doing, certainly a sense of calm in whatever I have to, because I've already spent that hour with myself. And upon reflection, because I've done it in fits and starts, as I say, and not every day I want to do it perfectly well. Upon reflection, it is a particularly good habit because it makes me feel good about how I have, developed over the past few months or so. Now, am I asking you to copy my routine because it's the world's best routine? No. The reason why I'm sharing it with you is for the thought process. And I would suggest build a reset hour for yourself that works for you and your life. I think what we require is this reset hour so that we don't stay stuck to yesterday. We don't stay stuck to all the troubles and all the wonderful things that happened yesterday, but we take each day as a day which has been reset by us for doing this. Now, I'm not saying that this is magically going to cure everything, and you might find your reset hour better for you to do during the night, just before you fall asleep. Whatever works for you, or in the middle of the day. Choose a routine that works for you. Choose a reset hour that works for you is all I'm saying. Have a way in which you can make yourself a different person by the end of the hour. That's the only caveat. Well, enough of this. I hope you liked this episode of Smarter with Sid. Many more to come from where this one came from. This is the start of a year. So Happy New Year, everybody. And it was clearly something which is going to not be repeated often in terms of mental and physical gyan, but it might happen once in a while if I think it is going to make us 1% better or 1% smarter or something like that. On that happy note, I would love to say, follow me. I'm the Traveling Professor on LinkedIn and on Instagram. And if you like podcasts like these, do first of all like and subscribe to my podcast and look at all the other stuff that IVM's got for you. Ciao then.